mentioned, we talk about value. Great questions that we just heard. What is value? We talk about how to drive value, create value. At the end of the day, a lot of us think about value in many different circumstances. So when we think about value, we think about a lot of things. So I had to preserve this from getting eaten by my son, who's 13 and eats everything. When we think about value, inside here is a cheeseburger. McDonald's cheeseburger. What's the value of a McDonald's cheeseburger? Thoughts? This is an interaction.
Depends on how hungry you are.
Depends on how hungry you are. Right? What's the cost of it? 99 cents? Plus the 6.25% tax 105? Okay? So $1.05, but is that its value? What's the value of this particular cheeseburger? What Terry said is absolutely right. This particular cheeseburger you can't buy right now. They don't sell them before 11 o'clock. So I bought this yesterday. So how valuable is that? Not so valuable, right? Not something we want to be chugging down. Unless, of course, you haven't eaten for 3 days. Then we may start having a line fighting for it. Right? So creating value, creating the essence of filling a need. One of the challenges, and as some good questions were brought out, is how do we protect that? In our organization, sometimes we think about our value is our knowledge. So I'm going to not share my knowledge with anybody because I want to keep my value. I'm going to protect my job by keeping everybody else away. That's not what value is. If we think about value, there's several definitions. There's one particular definition in here that I like the most. Okay, we can talk about it as an amount of goods and services. We always think of value in terms of costs in a lot of ways. But that's not always the primary driver for how things are valued. And what your traditional values are, or how you hold certain things sacred and other things don't mean that much to you. Value means different things to you personally because of your preferences, your attributes, the different things and experiences you have in life, or your needs and wants and desires. Lots of things come into play. Right? So it's not always about the first two, the money aspect of it. The third one is a great one, isn't it? Your usefulness. What is your importance? How do you benefit those who can benefit from you? So when we think about value, especially in IT, we struggle a lot, don't we? And we see this in the real world. Okay? I love this cartoon. If you pay attention closely, here's valued employee number 587,426. And right next to him is another valued employee, 587,427. Who cares, right? Everybody starts throwing this word like you're valued. You mean a lot to our organization. We soon lose the identity that we have. We start getting identity numbers, and we lose any essence of uniqueness about us. Right? And that can happen very quickly. We have pressure from the economics, and Terry even talked about it. We want to commoditize everything. Right? And we start to think about, don't commoditize IT. IT is my job. Commodity means cheap, useless, not valuable. I'll tell you something, electricity is a commodity. If I lost it right now, I'd be host. Because I got some videos and I got some other cool things. I can't show you those if this isn't working, right? Unless Terry's battery kicks in. But even the utility of things, even those things that we consider commodity, still have value. It's the importance of it. It's how we appreciate it. It's their perspective to what we deliver. So we talk about value in the real world in the aspect of the balanced scorecard. How many have heard of a balanced scorecard? How many utilize a balanced scorecard on a daily basis? Few. Excellent. Okay. How many have created a balanced scorecard? So we hear about it, we talk about it, but very few of us really use it. So one of the sanity checks that we try to do with ourselves is where are we in our life? Frankly, after all the recession slides that Terry had up there, I'm ready for a drink. I don't know about you. But it starts to make you worry, right? It starts making like, oh, am I financially secure? Are things going in the right way? All my jobs getting offshore to India. I spent all this time getting my Microsoft certification, my Cisco certification, my Oracle certification, my IELTS certification. All that time and energy, neglecting my family, neglecting my kids, traveling around the world, trying to promote my skills. Is it for naught today? Will I have a job in the future? We think about value. If we don't think about it in certain perspectives, we can lose a sense of that value. So one of the things I want to try to do to this should be a 15-minute briefing. And the purpose of the education of this, and I thank you all again for being here. I'm going to try to hold these on a monthly basis, not that you have to come. But I love to teach people, and I love to share knowledge with folks. And a couple lessons that we're going to learn is value is not always readily seen. It's not always something that's apparent to us. So in the balance scorecard, as you know, you think about it from a financial perspective. You think about it from your internal processes. How are we doing to optimize? You think about the customer, obviously. Someone's footing the bill. The money comes from somewhere. So we want to think about how we continue to extract that cash, keep that flow of income, maintain promises and expectations. But we also don't want to forget innovation. Right? When we think about innovation, we think about where we're going as an individual, what our career is, the aspects of value add that we're bringing to the market. Innovation is a key one. And one of the challenges that I think people still struggle with the age discrimination that continues to happen quite frequently in this country. And I'm a young person, but I've been in IT for 17 years, going on 18 years. So I'm a young person, I've been around for a while, but not nearly as many years as some of the folks in this room, right? I got some laughter in the background because I wasn't even born when they started in IT. But that's okay, right? Because your value isn't based on just your experience. Right? The fact that you have lessons learned is great. Someone wants that as a hiring person. But where can you go? Can you innovate? Can you take us to the next level because of your experiences? Isn't that really what they're looking for in part of that interviewing process or part of that evaluation process? So when we think about innovation, what we really want to be thinking about is employee learning and growth. What are our potentials? Every business is looking for business growth. This new economy that we live in, years of brick and mortar, been around for 100 years, this is the way we do things. They recognize that their business can shut the doors overnight. We saw that about 10 to 15 years ago, started to creep in. 5 years ago, we saw a lot stronger with some of the big businesses declining. In the past year and a half, it's just only fulfilled what some of these economists predicted. Anybody heard of the book Inforonics? Anybody read it? Great book, wasn't it? Wasn't it an exciting book to think about some of the things that he was talking about? That book was written, what, 4 years ago? So, pretty impressive, right? Pretty visionary. What he talked about is how these cycles of business systems can quickly fall apart because people aren't willing to innovate and change and grow. And if you don't have growth, you don't have sustainability. Those two typically in our business conversations, we're on opposite spectrums, right? Do we want to grow, or do we want to maintain status quo? Do we want to refine our base, or do we want to take on new markets? But the reality is that those have to be put together. So as employees, we think about innovation, we want to think about where we are to support and sustain that business growth. When I first started setting up this session, I started talking about some of the topics we wanted to present to the folks here in the room. I made a couple things real clear to our marketing folks. And thank you again to Clearly Creative for all your effort in pulling this together. I told them two things. One, I don't want it salesy, no pitches. Terry asked me, hey, I might say things that go against Inforonics' core branding, what they're trying to bring to the market. Do you want to go over it? I said, no. Inforonics is footing the bill. Don't worry about it, Terry. You say it like it is. You tell it how it is. And you tell your thoughts and feelings. If I disagree with you, I'm going to get up here and say I disagree with Terry. Here's why. But actually, I love what he presented. I hope you do too. They want sales and pitchy and that kind of stuff. The other thing is they started off on their messaging for your invites about aligning IT and business. And I said, please don't. I am so sick and tired of hearing IT aligning with business. I take personal offense to that. I've been in IT for going on 18 years. I put myself through school at nights. I didn't take one IT course. I put myself through a marketing course. I put myself through an international business management course. I spent a lot of time learning about how to create a manual GL, a general ledger, which I know most accountants can't even do. I can do that. Pen and paper. I don't need technology. So I take offense to the fact that I'm not aligned with business. Of course I'm thinking about costs. Of course I'm thinking about things. But technology is difficult. And your business is difficult. And you don't even know how many users you're going to have. And you're looking at me to build a capacity plan to handle your users. And you don't even know how many to show up or how many to use it simultaneously. So let's get real here. It's not that we're not aligned. We're not integrated. We're not sharing lessons learned. we're not